Picture the chaos of 18th century battlefields, rigid lines of musketeers, slow-moving armies, and generals struggling to control their scattered forces. Into this world stepped Napoleon Bonaparte, a commander whose innovations would shatter old conventions and shape the future of warfare. Napoleon's most revolutionary change was the creation of the corps system. Instead of moving his army as a single, unwieldy mass, he divided it into self-sufficient units, called corps, each with its own infantry, cavalry, artillery, and support services. These corps could march independently, live off the land, and reunite rapidly for battle, giving Napoleon unmatched flexibility and speed. This decentralization allowed for rapid concentration of force at decisive points, as famously demonstrated at the Battle of Austerlitz, where his scattered corps feigned weakness and then converged to split the Allied army. Napoleon harnessed the power of the French Revolution's levée en masse, introducing mass conscription that transformed France from a nation of subjects into a nation of soldiers. For the first time, entire populations were mobilized for war, swelling the ranks of the French army to unprecedented size. Over 2 million Frenchmen were conscripted between 1800 and 1814. This shift from small professional armies to mass citizen armies changed the scale of warfare and inspired similar systems across Europe. Napoleon was a master of combined arms tactics, skillfully coordinating infantry, cavalry, and artillery to maximize their strengths and cover their weaknesses. He integrated artillery into his battle plans as a mobile force, using massed batteries, the Grande Battery, to unleash devastating barrages that softened enemy lines before launching infantry and cavalry assaults. His use of flexible infantry formations, including columns for rapid movement and lines for firepower, allowed him to adapt to battlefield conditions and surprise his enemies. Napoleon's background as an artillerist led him to revolutionize the use of cannons. He adopted the Gribeauval system, which standardized and lightened artillery pieces, making them more mobile and easier to deploy. Artillery was no longer a static support arm but a decisive weapon, capable of being massed at critical points to break enemy formations. At Wagram, his concentrated artillery fire shattered Austrian lines, demonstrating the destructive power of his innovations. Napoleon's armies moved faster than any in Europe. He drilled his troops for rapid marches, enabling them to cover vast distances and strike unexpectedly. His campaigns were marked by speed and surprise, as at Ulm and Jena, where he outmaneuvered larger enemy forces and forced them to surrender or scatter. By keeping his enemies off balance, Napoleon seized the initiative and dictated the terms of battle. Napoleon increased the use of light infantry as skirmishers, deploying them ahead of the main lines to harass and pin down the enemy. He created specialized units like the voltigeurs, trained for marksmanship and mobility, who could exploit terrain and disrupt enemy formations. This emphasis on flexible, decentralized tactics foreshadowed modern infantry doctrine. Traditional armies relied on long, vulnerable supply lines. Napoleon's corps system allowed his forces to live off the land, foraging as they marched, and reducing dependence on supply trains. This logistical innovation enabled his armies to move faster and operate deep in enemy territory, though it sometimes led to hardship and resistance from local populations. By delegating authority to corps commanders, Napoleon ensured that his army could respond quickly to changing circumstances without waiting for orders from the top. This decentralized command structure increased operational flexibility and allowed for complex maneuvers, such as simultaneous attacks on multiple fronts. Napoleon's changes did not end with his defeat. The corps system, mass conscription, mobile artillery, and combined arms tactics became the foundation of modern military doctrine. His emphasis on speed, flexibility, and decisive action influenced generations of commanders, from the American Civil War to World War II and beyond. The scale and organization of his campaigns foreshadowed the total wars of the 20th century. Napoleon's genius lay not just in his battlefield victories, but in his ability to see war as a dynamic, ever-changing contest of minds, machines, and men. He transformed armies from rigid, slow-moving institutions into agile, powerful engines of national will. The echoes of his innovations still shape armies and strategies today, proving that Napoleon truly changed warfare forever.